Hey, what is up, Southwest students? My name is McKenna.
Xavier.
And we are here on week 4 of Begone Thoughts, and it is time to wrap up this whole series. March is almost over. March felt so ridiculously long.
Really?
You think it felt short?
Bro, I feel like this year is flying and I haven't gone to the gym.
Oh, well, that's a personal problem. I feel like the year as a whole has been flying by, but months are slow, if that makes sense. We're already in March, almost in the 4th month, but at the same time, the month has just, I don't know why. I feel like March should have been over a long time ago, and it just hasn't been over. But we walked through this incredible series called Begone Thoughts, where we talked about just getting rid of some negative thoughts that we face on a day-to-day basis, and it was awesome. We got to both speak. Jocelyn did an incredible job, and we just broke down some thoughts I think that everyone is struggling with, especially in this time. So we have a couple more questions for you guys, but first we have these. Well, these are the questions. So we're gonna pull the questions and then we just get to answer them and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna hang out. It's gonna be a good time.
All right, first question. The first question is, this is a fun one. If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? And more importantly, what would you eat?
What would I eat? Oh, I feel like I have lots of places. I want to go to Mexico just for the food because Mexican food is my all-time favorite type of food, but I've never had like authentic Mexican food, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I would go there for the food, and I would eat enchiladas and menudo.
Menudo. Solid all day. Both solid.
Menudo all day. Okay, anyway, but I want to go to Greece. Like, really bad want to go to Greece in the summer. It just looks gorgeous.
Is that the one? Do they have the beaches that are like the giant U's?
I think so. I think we're talking about the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just so pretty. And Mamma Mia, greatest movie of all time, was filmed there. And so just so many happy things there, right? Okay, where would you go? What would you eat?
Oh, for sure. I want to go to Hawaii.
Okay,
And
Hawaii's a good one.
What would I want to eat?
But Hawaii's realistic. That's why I picked Greece.
Greece is realistic.
I don't know. For some reason in my brain, it feels less realistic than Hawaii.
Are you trying okay? If I was to pick like a super exotic place to go to,
Pick an exotic place.
Somewhere outside of the U.S. international. Let's see. I would probably either do. I would probably.
You're gonna say
Japan.
Something random.
I
literally knew you were gonna
I would
say
do Japan. I would either go to Japan or Costa Rica.
Costa Rica would be fun.
Actually, Costa Rica. Oh, that was a whole nother fun conversation that we talked about. It was just like if you were to fake your death, where would you go?
That's where you'd go?
Yeah, I was so.
Did I pick a place?
I don't know. But anyways,
I'd go to Japan.
That's a whole nother fun question.
It'd be fun to live there for a little bit. That's a good one. What would you eat?
Oh, what would I eat? Oh, I would mob on sushi.
Sushi?
I would go to restaurants and be like, give me the craziest sushi roll you got.
Okay.
That's what
that does sound like a dream. Just sushi. Yeah. All the sushi things. Well, that's our fun question. Answer this question in your small group too. Let them know where you want to go, what you'd want to eat. I think it's fun to hear what people say. We all have such different answers. But now on to different questions. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
These are the.
Oh, okay. So which one of the 4 thoughts from our series do you struggle with the most? Okay. Your options are that you're not loved, you're not enough, that you have to work for God's love, or being at war with your thoughts. Which one do you struggle with the most?
That I'm not loved, I'm not enough, I have to work for God's love, and what was the last one?
It's just going to war with your thoughts. Always being at war with your thoughts.
Always being at It's like overthinking all the time.
Basically.
I'm going to say not enough.
Why?
I think, I think I try to live a life as a 7, right? I want to live a life that's impressive.
Okay.
Like, I want to live a life that's adventurous, that's fun. You know what I mean? Like Instagram, like people posting their vacation on Instagram, to me, I'm like, wow, like that looks so amazing. That's the life that I want to live. Right. So when I don't live that life, right? When I'm not posting and I'm not, having exotic vacations and all these other things, I feel like it's easy for me to feel like I'm not enough. Like my life story isn't enough. Yeah.
Has that been a thought out of the 4 of them, that you've struggled with forever?
Oh yeah, for sure, because it makes me I naturally want to live an impressive life, but it's for me, and I feel like I'm not doing that So if I feel that way about myself, I automatically think other people feel that way about myself.
And then you just jump into this like deep spiral of like, I'm not enough. Okay, now I'm not loved. And now God doesn't love me. Like all these things. Like that's like step one. And
it could definitely take you through it. And it's crazy because it's an insecurity that I have.
Totally.
But I feel like other people feel that way about me.
I saw this post that like has to do with this. I think it was Chad Beach. Could have been Rich Wilkerson. One of the two of them posted someone else's opinion, none of my business. And I was like, that's cool. Like,
that's good.
I know I don't necessarily need to think or care about what other people's opinions are of me, but the fact that it said none of my business, I'm like, it should not affect me or whether I'm enough.
Yeah.
Like, in that sense. Yeah. So I do agree with that one.
How about you? Which one's yours?
Well, all of them.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm like, picking one of them is hard. Probably not enough as well. And then with that, I feel like when I start feeling that, now I feel like I'm not loved. And now I feel like I need to work for God's love. So that's like my step one of insecurity. And then it just breaks down to this pool of like, okay, this and this and this and this and this. So I feel like I literally joined a spiral. But I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So similar to you, I care a ton about what other people think of me, how they see me.
You suck at saying no?
Yeah, I just don't know how to say it at all. Like at all. I say yes to 95% of things, and if I need to say no, I typically say yes and then have to go back and be like, I actually can't. But yeah, do you suck at saying no?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's like, it's at the sacrifice of yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, you don't really want to do something, you don't really want to go there, but you're just like...
Or the problem is that I really want to do it all. And I have to learn, and I've been having to learn, like, I can't do it all, or I'm doing it all, and I'm not doing it to my best ability, which then I struggle, because I'm like, they're not seeing who I actually am, or they're not seeing my best work, and so now I think I'm a failure, and it's literally
it goes back.
It all goes back to not being enough, or not being worth it, and so I for sure find myself in that loop all the time. Hey. Ready for the next one?
Let's go.
Do I get to read it? Wait, I read that one. You get to read it.
Go. Okay, it says, how has God showed up in your life when you're struggling with negative thoughts?
Oh, that's good. I feel like it goes back to the last question of me not being able to say no. One, I think God talks to me all the time. Like, just constantly, like, talking to me. But when I listen the most is probably in my quiet moments where I do say no. And then I say yes to, like, Jesus time and quiet time and spending time just being able to fully engulf everything he's trying to develop me into. And I feel like the only time I can actually do that is when I'm not constantly going. Yeah. But I also feel 10 out of 10 he speaks through other people to me. Because I'm always on the go, I'm like, that person just said that. I've been praying about that, and I feel like I haven't gotten an answer yet. But I think there's an important part with this. I have a couple people who I know love Jesus more than they love me, and those are the people that get influence in my life. And so I've just had to realize that I can't listen to everything everyone always says, because if I do that, I'm going to be pulled in so many different directions. But I do have a couple girls and even a couple guys who I'm like, I trust you, I love you, I know that you love me and you have my best intention, so I'm going to let you speak to me, and I trust that it's God as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, and this could be a good challenge, like always encourage your friends, or always encourage, the people that you lead, and more importantly, I think always encourage your leaders too, because a lot of times, like, leaders are struggling alone.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like, we talk about being in community, and we talk about, being in small groups and all these things. And I think as leaders, it's important that we do it too, because oftentimes we can miss out on that.
Totally.
But yeah, I think God, whenever I've been struggling mentally, I think it's the small acts of kindness, the small acts of appreciation that, like, revitalize your soul. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, like, that was a glimpse of, like, Jesus's love, like, that I needed in that moment.
Totally. Well, we have to wrap it up pretty quick here because we talk a lot. So let's do one of the last two. So pick which one you want to do.
Let's do. Hey Siri, flip a coin. That one.
Okay. It says, what are some practical ways to overcome negative thoughts?
What are some practical ways to overcome? I would say, number one, talk about it.
Wait, literally process them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Process.
But it has to be out loud.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times we can get so caught up internalizing it and we never speak it out, that we never really grow from it. We kind of, it stays inside.
Right.
But if you talk it out, there's been times where I'm just venting with people that I really trust, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I said that out loud, but that's exactly how I felt.
You have to feel it to heal it.
Yeah.
You have to feel it to heal it. I feel like, one, with leaders, but two, with everyone else, the second a negative thought pops in my brain, I'm like, you cannot think that. Like, push that away, put that down. You can't think that. Why would you think that? God knows you're thinking that. Like, all these things where I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Yeah. And I think that as I've gotten older, and even just this past year, I've realized the most that I have to process them.
Yeah.
And the more I push them down, the more I feel them. And so I would just encourage you guys to feel the thoughts. Yeah. The negative ones, the positive ones, feel them and process them. Even if they're coming from a place of hurt or a place of trauma, it's okay to process them, and it's okay to work through those things that, yes, have hurt you in the past, but are going to bring you growth in the future. Really fast to wrap it up, Richard Rohr, I don't really know how to say his last name. He is an American author, wrote, "Scientists have discovered that what looks like darkness to the human eye is actually filled with tiny particles called neutrinos, slivers of light that pass through the entire universe. Apparently, there's no such thing as total darkness anywhere, even though the human eye thinks there is." And I feel like this is us mentally. When you're in these negative thoughts and when you're in these thoughts that just feel overwhelming, we feel like, I'm stuck here and I'm going to be stuck here forever, and I'm stuck in this darkness and there is no light, there is no hope. But there is no such thing as darkness. One, actually, physically, scientifically, but two, with Jesus in your life, there is no such thing as darkness, because he is the light and he will always provide us with light. And so I think that's a hope that we have to hold on to when we're struggling with negative thoughts. Good. Any last minute things?
You want to share your verse?
Yeah, it was Romans. My life verse applies. I picked one that applied to pretty much everything, but it's Romans 8:38 through 39. It says, "For I'm sure that neither death nor life, nor angels nor rulers, nor things present nor things to come, nor powers, nor height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." Yeah. And in that I wrote, including my negative thoughts. Yeah, they will never be able to separate me. So good. What's yours?
Mine was actually Psalms 40 verses 1 through 4. I actually learned this verse when I was really young. My stepdad used to recite it often. It says, "I waited patiently for the Lord, and he turned to me, and he heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet upon a rock, and he gave me a firm place to stand. He put a song in my mouth and a hymn of praise." And I think that's my go-to, because it literally shows the story of, like, God pulling someone out of the darkness.
Totally.
And then not only pulling them out of the darkness, but giving them something new to stand on, and then having a song and a praise through that. I think that's a testimony to a lot of us who have experienced Jesus Christ. And we know, like, if he's pulled me out before, like, when he pulled me out of, like, the lowest, he can definitely do it now. So
Totally. Well, Southwest students, we love you guys. Don't forget to process your negative thoughts, feel them, find someone who's safe and that you can trust, because you guys are not alone and you will never be alone. And we are here to help you walk through these hard times. Now it's time to go to your small groups, talk through some of the things you've been struggling with, be open with them. They love you and they will help you through these. We love you guys.
See you guys.